What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are bringing another fun team to Go Battle League Ultra League Premier Cup. Now, I will say, on paper, you could potentially utilize this team in the Open Ultra League as well. It has a lot of great coverages. We're going to talk more about that after the battle, so if you want to know more about the team, be sure to stick around to then. But today, brought this into 2 sets. Overall went 7-3. Really strong team. Great counters to a lot of the meta that we see, and it can do well in bad lead situations as well. Now, we are utilizing a Community Day Gyarados on the safe swap with that Aqua Tail. It's very important. It's very spammy. Does nice in some neutral matchups. Hydro Cannon could potentially work if you don't have it. I personally haven't been able to try that out. It's got similar coverage in terms of the water damage, but it's going to take you a long time to get to that Hydro Cannon, which is why Aqua Tail does a bit better there. But we have Machamp on the lead and Alolan Muck as a cover, so let me know what you guys think about the team in the battles, but let's get right into the video. Alright, moving into the battles. Had a fun set today with this team. I tried Drifblim at first. That didn't work out too well, so I switched it to Gyarados, and this is where we started having some great matchups. Now, we have Machamp versus Charizard on the lead right here. Not the best matchup for us. As you guys can see, Fire Spin does a lot of damage, but we're going to go ahead and go for Cross Chop once we build up to that Rock Slide. It's very important to do that so you can get a shield baiting opportunity. We do get a shield. I swap to my Gyarados, hoping to catch the Blast Burn right there, but they do decide to throw energy. Now, I'm not going to shield. I want to maintain some energy on my Machamp in the back and maintain shields as well. So we do have an Alolan Muck now coming, which is really nice. This is where Aqua Tail does so well, everyone. It's very spammy, does a lot of neutral damage. As we can see right here, we're doing pretty well. We have shield advantage as well, which is really, really nice. Now, the reason why I didn't stay in with my Machamp is I didn't want to get hit with a Blast Burn and have to shield, but swapping into Gyarados, we could at least take neutral. Now, a bit of lag right here, and I'm hoping please get to the Aqua Tail. We were actually able to get to the Aqua Tail, which is fantastic. This could get a second shield from them or put a lot of pressure on the health. We do get the second shield, which is fantastic. Machamp is now set up to come in and completely farm down. I do need to watch out for a potential Sludge Wave or Gunk Shot, which is why I'm going to shield the first charge move now coming through, but it's just going to be a Dark Pulse, which is fine. And now we're going to commit to the farm down right here. We have a lot of loaded energy, and whatever they have in the back, we can one-shot the Charizard, and it's going to be a Swampert in the back, which is just fine. We're going to go ahead and go for Cross Chop right here. Does neutral damage in the matchup, and we're going to look to maintain our energy to make sure we can handle that Charizard that would come in. So we're going to go ahead and go for another Cross Chop right here, and then we're going to actually swap into Alolan Muck. Kind of counterintuitive, but I want them to throw all their energy. If they throw an Earthquake, so be it, because what we can do is they actually swap now into Charizard. What we could have done if they threw the Earthquake is come back in with Machamp, farm down, and go for the Rock Slide, which is what my plan was, but they decided to swap, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and not shield right here. I shouldn't be. Yeah, Blast Burn now is going to be coming through. Does a lot of neutral damage, but we can actually farm down right here with Snarl. Does neutral damage to Charizard, and then we can go for the Dark Pulse right here on the Swampert. And they have to throw energy, and we still have a shield as well, so that is going to be a good battle right there to my opponent. I think the one mistake maybe they made, or a misplay they made, was shielding the Alolan Muck there in the middle with the second Aqua Tail, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and move into this next battle right here. So we have Machamp on the lead versus Drifblim. So another lead loss right here. But what's great with Machamp is a lot of the things that it kind of semi-loses to, because they are flyers, you can hit back hard with Rock Slide. Now, you obviously got to watch out for Togekiss, but that's why we have Alolan Muck and Gyarados. But Machamp right here is going to be able to take those charge moves relatively well. Now, if you're the Drifblim on the other side, be sure to be building up to Shadow Ball and threaten with that, because if they're just Icy Winds, I don't need to shield. So we are just going to build up right here. I'm going to try to go for another Rock Slide, but they're throwing their energy again, and I'm like, you know what, this is just going to be another Icy Wind. I'm not going to give it, or I do decide to shield actually right here. And then we're going to go ahead and go for a Rock Slide. Overcharge a bit right there, but we're going to go for the Rock Slide. We're either going to take out the Drifblim or get the shield. And they're going to have to throw energy to finish us off, because we could get to another Rock Slide in time. So they are going to throw the energy, which is just fine. So yeah, here we go. Icy Wind's going to take us out, which is fine. We're going to come in with the Alolan Muck and farm down for energy. We're going to be doing super effective damage with that Snarl. We're going to be resisting the Ghost type moves, but we are going to be taking neutral damage from the Icy Wind, but it's not going to do a lot. And we can swap out to clear the debuff as well. That's very important to know. Now they swap into a Dragonite right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse. This is a lot lower in terms of damage because of Icy Wind, but it's going to do neutral, and it gives us that extra boost to be able to come in with Gyarados and Dragon Breath down, which is going to be fantastic. Now I decided to go for the Aqua Tail right there. I shouldn't have. I should have just committed to the farm down. I think that was a misplay on my end. So Dragon Claw we are going to block, and then I'm going to go ahead and go for Aqua Tail. I should have just shielded and farmed down, so I have loaded energy on the back end. Now what they decide to bring in is going to be the Drifblim again, which tells me they want to try to get that Icy Wind off to help out endgame, but we're actually able to take it out before they can get to it, and it's going to be an Escavalier in the back. So Escavalier has access to counter as the fast move. That's basically what you're going to see. And it has a lot of different charge moves. Typically, they'll be running with Drill Run and Aerial Ace, or Mega Horn and Acid Spray as well as our potential charge moves, all of which we're basically resisting right here, which is going to be great, except for the Aerial Ace, which is going to do neutral. So we're going to go ahead and get another Aqua Tail off, and now we're actually going to swap into our Alolan Muck because we can't let them get ahead on energy, and as long as we get to the Dark Pulse right here, we should be able to win out. So we do get to the Dark Pulse in time. This is going to be doing a lot of neutral damage, and we also clear that Icy Wind debuff. Whenever you swap a Pokemon out, you clear the buffs or debuffs that that Pokemon may have, so we're able to take out the Escavalier, and that's going to be a good game. Alright, moving into the next battle right here. This battler, I believe... yeah, it's Quartz. Okay, so good battle to Quartz. Tagged me on Twitter as well, and this was a great battle. And it was an interesting choice on my end, and I think it's my own fault right here, but that's okay. We'll talk about it. So we're gonna have Kingdra on the lead. Kingdra's a great Pokemon, has access to Outrage and Obstagoon, but Machamp does really well against the Kingdra as well because of counter damage and cross chop. They're all neutral, and it really starts to add up right here. So as long as we can safely shield once, we should be able to commit to the farm down. Now we're going to go ahead and shield right here. It's just going to be the Octazooka, which is fine. And I decided to throw energy, which is what I shouldn't have done. I should have committed to the farm down right there. That was my misplay number one. Not shielding was a smart play, I think, in this situation, but we needed to farm down. You guys are going to see why right here. We're going to see a Charizard now come in. And then I'm going to go for the Rock Slide, but I click on the Cross Chop, and I actually don't get it because I waited too long. Maybe there was a slight delay there as well, but... still, given the fact that I could have farmed down Kingdra with fast moves and then hit a Rock Slide, it's definitely going to pay off better in the long run to commit to that farm down and have a guaranteed charge move on this back end against the Charizard, because they're going to have to shield that Rock Slide, which means we come into an even shield situation even though we're in a positive matchup. Now, the Charizard is actually going to do pretty well against this right here. Blast Burn and Dragon Claw both do a lot of damage. We're not going to shield. It's just going to be a Dragon Claw, and it's not going to be enough to take us out. So I'm hopefully going to be able to get to this Aqua Tail in time. So I do get to the Aqua Tail right here. This is going to be taking out the Charizard because it's going to be doing super effective damage, or get the final shield. It does take out the Charizard, and it's an Escavalier in the back, which is bad. Escavalier does really well against Muck, and this is where we needed that shield advantage. If we had a 1-0 situation right here, it would have been good. Now, Escavalier has access to Drill Run, and I know that, so I'm going to go ahead and shield, but he got me with an Acid Spray. So Quartz, well played, got me with the Acid Spray right there. I know now he has Drill Run, and he's going to be able to one-shot me, which is fine. So we're going to be going for a back-to-back Dark Pulse right here. The first one will be getting the shield. The second one's going to do a lot of neutral damage right here. And go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse, but he got off the charge move, and I'm thinking, maybe he only has one charge move. Maybe it's just Acid Spray. No, it's a Drill Run. So that is going to be a good battle. Well played to my opponent, but I made a mistake early of not farming, and that paid off for him endgame. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle here. So yeah, if you're in that situation, farm down that Kingdra, and then throw the guaranteed charge move on the back end. So we have Machamp versus Poliwrath on the lead. I actually never simmed this one before, and I'm not really sure. Just to let you guys know, Machamp can win in the 1 and 2 shield. It's pretty close right here. Cross Chop does a lot of damage, but I was just like, oh man, I actually haven't simmed this matchup before. Never really faced it ever before either. So we're just going to swap, and I try to swap to catch either the Ice Punch or the Dynamic Punch right there, but we are going to see a Venusaur now come in to my Gyarados, which is pretty interesting because we have Dragon Breath and Crunch, both of which do a lot of damage, but we're also going to hope to not give up a shield. Hopefully we can survive. I think we can survive one Frenzy Plant. It does neutral damage, but we also go for the Aqua Tail right here a bit early because they haven't thrown their charge move yet, which means they're going to be tempted to shield just in case it's a crunch, and we do get the shield, which is fantastic. So now we have shield advantage on our side. So I'm going to go ahead and let the Gyarados go down. That's fine, but they are going to be able to farm me down right here, which is kind of rough. They're going to have a lot of loaded energy. So now we can't come in with Machamp. It's going to take too much damage, but we can come in with Alolan Muck because it's going to be taking resisted damage because of the dark poison typing right here. So Frenzy Plants, Sludge Bombs, all will be resisted, but it still does a lot of damage. Frenzy Plants, Community Day move, and it still does a lot. That's like, yeah, that's like a quarter. So it's gonna start adding up, but we gotta commit to the farm down. We need to get a lot of energy and hope that Machamp can close end game for us. So we're just gonna commit to the farm down right here. Completely commit. Please don't get another one off. Okay, good. We got the Venusaur right there. All right, Poliwrath is going to be coming in. We're going to go straight Gunk Shot. Does neutral damage and will one-shot the Poliwrath from this range if they decide not to shield, which we do. Perfect. And then it's going to be a Drifblim in the back, which is beautiful. Dark Pulse is going to be doing super effective damage. We're going to be resisting Hex. We can hit super effective damage as well with our Machamp. So what we're going to do is make them throw their energy right here, which is fine. I don't decide to shield. I could have right here, but I decide, you know what, I can finish this game off with Machamp with 2 shields because I just need to hit off 2 Rock Slides. We're not going to be able to get to the first one before they get to an Icy Wind, which is then going to lower my attack, which means I cannot one-shot this Drifblim. So our attack will be lowered, but we do have 2 shields, which is why I saved those shields right there. Even though we lost to the Venusaur in the mid-game, we were able to come in and farm down, which I think is really key. So we got the Rock Slide off, not enough to take it out right there. I even think without Icy Wind, it wouldn't be enough. It'd be really close, but we can just safely shield right here. This is going to be another Icy Wind or a Shadow Ball, either of which is fine. We have our shield, and then we can go for the Rock Slide right here to finish off the Drifblim, and that is going to be a good battle. So, a slight mistake on my end. I won lead, but I swapped out anyways because I was unfamiliar. So yeah, you know, lesson learned. We know that now. If you guys see the Poliwrath versus Machamp lead, Machamp can win in the 1 and 2 shield going straight cross chop right there with counter damage. So we're going to go ahead and check out this battle now. We have Machamp on the lead versus Lapras. Positive lead. A lot of Lapras leads as well. This is going to be really solid for us. We're going to see them swap now into Toxicroak. So we're going to go ahead and come in with the Gyarados right here. Toxicroak does have access to counter, which is going to be resisted because of our flying type, and then also has access to Sludge Bomb and Mud Bomb. So we're going to go ahead and shield the first move. It's most likely going to be that Sludge Bomb, which will do neutral. So we go ahead and shield that. We're going to overload a bit on energy and go ahead and go for the Aqua Tail. Crunch is going to be resisted because of that fighting typing, but Aqua Tail is going to be doing neutral and a lot at that, which is really, really nice. And what's great as well is we're basically eliminating their hardest counter to our Alolan Muck in the back. So we're going to go ahead and not shield right here. It's just going to be a Mud Bomb, which is fine. Doesn't do any damage, and we're going to be able to farm down. Now let's see what they decide to come back in with. They're going to come back in with a Lapras. This is why we have that crunch. It does neutral damage to those waters, especially like Lapras right here, which is going to be great. The Aqua Tail would be resisted. Dragon Breath starts to add up as well. Now they're going to look to probably commit to the farm down right here, but we can get off another crunch. It's going to put them in critical health range. So let's see how this one pays off. We're going to go ahead and go for the crunch. Do they shield? No, they're not going to shield. They're maintaining shield advantage. So whatever's in the back, they're really hoping to win with. And they're also throwing their energy right here, which is going to be a Surf, which is resisted. But they can farm me down. So they're going to have a lot of loaded energy. But my Machamp, I believe, has a bit of energy. Yeah, it does. So it has a bit of energy. We are going to go ahead and not shield right here. Very risky on my end. It's going to be an Ice Beam. And then we're going to commit to the farm down right here. And we take out the Lapras. The last Pokemon is going to be an Alolan Muck, which is beautiful. Because Alolan Muck does so well with charge moves, with its fast move of Snarl, which loads a lot of energy but doesn't do a lot of damage. Plus, we're a fighting typing, so we're going to be resisting right there. It can't really farm us down, which means we can stay in here and just do cross chops and counters and absolutely start to chunk this Alolan Muck right here. Plus, we have our own in the back. So I'm actually going to go ahead and shield right here, block the Dark Pulse that is going to be coming through, because I can get off another cross chop and more counter damage, which is going to be doing neutral because of the Dark Poison typing. So we get off another cross chop. Now we're going to swap into our Alolan Muck, which is in a very favorable situation right here. They cannot do anything to us. The Lapras has like no energy. It may have a Surf, but even then, we're going to be resisting all the charge moves here, which is great. We're going to see them swap out, and we just fast move down the Lapras, and then we are going to see, I believe they do surrender. So good game to my opponent right there. All right, let's move into the next battle. Okay, let's see how this one goes. Overall, team was a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of staples in the Ultra League, being Machamp, the Alolan Muck, and the Gyarados right there. So we have, Tangrowth. So this is the team I ran yesterday, which is really interesting. And what's tough about running teams that are from videos right away is people will know how to beat it or know what's happening. So I'm looking at this going, that's my team from yesterday. How do I play this out? I got to keep Machamp for endgame to take down the Empoleon, and I got to utilize Gyarados to basically do as much damage as possible. So we're going to go ahead and shield the Power Whip, and I'm going to overload a bit on energy and go ahead and go for a Cross Chop. Now, I spoke in the video that shield advantage is key, and it is. It very much is. So they're sticking to that. Gallade now comes in. So this is where we swap into the Gyarados because I know there's an Empoleon in the back, because this was the team I ran yesterday, which is really cool. Seeing someone run my own team, I hope they had a lot of success with it, but they're facing off against me, and I know this team. So we're going with Crunch right here, does neutral damage against the Empoleon. What's great against Empoleon as well is we're resisting those waterfalls. That's very, very important. Now, the Drill Peck does do neutral damage, but it's not going to be enough. Because we can basically get to another Crunch in time. This is going to be enough to take him out right here. And we still have a Alolan Muck in the back, which is a great counter to a Gallade. You're going to be taking neutral, resisted damage from Leaf Blade, resisted damage from Confusion, and neutral from the close combat. So we're going to be able to farm down right here. Now we do go down. They have a lot of loaded energy, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the Alolan Muck. Now, what I know about this Gallade is that it cannot throw close combat first. Going to take way too much damage. It has to throw Leaf Blade, so we're not going to shield. It is going to be a Leaf Blade. Now the next one, they can throw the close combat to try to chunk my health right here because I am getting within range. And we're going to be going for Dark Pulse, which is going to be doing neutral because of the Psychic Fighting typing. Now they do have another shield right here, and this is where I said, okay, this could be a close combat. It's going to do enough damage so that it is going to be close combat. I'm going to go ahead and shield. It was a close combat, so perfect. We're calling this to a T. Now their defenses are lowered. We're going to go ahead and go for a Dark Pulse right here, and then we're going to swap into Machamp because I have loaded energy. So we're going to go ahead and swap into Machamp. I have some loaded energy right here, and we can get to the Cross Chop in time. That is going to be a good battle. So very well played to my opponent. They followed the guide to a T, but I knew what they had, which doesn't really help in blind battles because they don't know what I have, and that is going to be a good game right there. So I believe we're going to go ahead and move into the last battle. But yeah, it's cool to see someone running my team. I hope they had success with it. I had a lot of fun with it yesterday. It's a fantastic team. But we have Machamp on the lead versus Obstagoon. Solid. This is what we want to see right here. They're going to swap out right away. They have to. They're swapping out into a Drifblim, which we have Alolan Muck for, which is beautiful. Now, they do get to Icy Winds very, very quickly. And basically, we just don't want to give up any shields in this situation. We want to put the shield pressure on them because Gyarados will still do well if we lose this switch advantage right here. So we're going to go ahead and go for Dark Pulses. Does super effective damage because of that Ghost typing, which, yeah, we do get the shield, which is fantastic. Now let's see, they do get another Icy Wind off. We're just not going to shield, let it go through. We want to apply all the pressure to them to shield and look to finish off endgame with Gyarados and Machamp. So we're going to go ahead and build up a little bit, go for this next Dark Pulse. It's not going to do as much damage because we are debuffed from Icy Wind, which is fine. We do get a second shield, which is beautiful. And what's great is they're going to be getting off another Icy Wind right here. This is not going to be enough to take us out, so we don't need to shield. We got 2 shields from them, and we are going to chunk their health with this next Dark Pulse right here, and then I'm going to swap into the Gyarados because I can start getting hit on energy, and I don't want this Drifblim to farm me down. So I'm going to go ahead and swap into the Gyarados right here, start doing a lot of damage. They are going to swap out, and they swap into a Lapras. Beautiful. Machamp 2 shields right here can finish this game off for us. They have Lapras. They have Obstagoon. I know my shields are going to the Machamp now. So Lapras is going to be taking neutral damage from the Crunch, and Dragon Breath really starts to add up. We're not going to shield, like I said. Machamp is set up to sweep endgame, and it's going to be an Ice Beam, which does a lot of neutral damage to a Gyarados, which is fine, but we're just going to get another Crunch off, hopefully right here, which we do. This Crunch will be getting Lapras low enough so that we can come in and basically farm with the Machamp, and I got to be prepared for them to potentially swap out into Drifblim on a charge move as well. We got to watch out for that. Now, Lapras is very, very low. We're going to go ahead and bring in the Machamp, and I believe I may swap into a Alolan Muck. No, I don't. Okay. So we're just going to come in with Machamp. We're going to go ahead and shield. And then I actually think I swap into Muck right here. So I'm going to swap into Muck to catch the back-to-back. But they actually don't go for the back-to-back, which is fine. So maybe the Drifblim comes in. I think the Drifblim comes in, which means we can get off 1 Snarl. Yeah, Drifblim decides to come in. We get off 1 Snarl, which is going to be enough. They are going to be throwing energy. We're going to go ahead and shield. Icy Wind's going to be doing the most damage right here. And then we can farm down, and we're going to have almost near 2 Cross Chops ready to go for the Obstagoon in the back, which is double weak to fighting. And that is going to be a good battle right there. And I believe that was the final one. Yeah, that was the final one. So let's go ahead and talk about the team. Alright, heading over to pvpoke.com where you guys can do battles, battle simulations, check out the rankings, and do team building as well. We have our team here in the Ultra League Premier Cup. We have Machamp, Alolan Muck, and Gyarados, which we used in today's video. Now the movesets are there as well. Gyarados does have Aqua Tail, which is Community Day, and we are running Gunk Shot instead of Sludge Wave on Alolan Muck. From my experience with Alolan Muck through all the seasons, Gunk Shot does so much better because it will one-shot a lot of fairies that are ill-prepared or who think it's a shield baiting opportunity. Sludge Wave will not, so that's why I run Gunk Shot. Now overall the team in terms of the rating is pretty solid. The bulk isn't there, like you're gonna need to sacrifice 1 Pokemon and utilize shields to sweep endgame with like the Machamp like we saw, or the Gyarados, or the Alolan Muck, but overall I still think it's pretty solid. Has a lot of great coverages. Machamp on the lead can catch a lot of common leads that you guys are gonna see, and those big ones we have to watch out for are gonna be those Flyers, which we still have Rock Slide for, and those Charmers, which we have counters to in the back. That Alolan Muck with Gunk Shot, the Gyarados with Aqua Tail can still do a lot of damage. Biggest weaknesses to this team are going to be a Nidoqueen, which you'll probably never see, and a fellow Machamp as well. But you can still do well against Machamp, which I think is really great. This team has a lot of balance overall and has a great flow to the team. And like I said, this team can do well in Open Ultra League as well. That's due to the updated moveset there on Gyarados with that Aqua Tail, and Alolan Muck does so well, plus Machamp is just solid. So let's go ahead and break it down. So in Open Ultra League, we have Cresselia, Giratina, Alter, Registeel. Look at that. We have a great matchups right there. If you face off against the Giratina or Cresselia on the lead, you can safe swap into the Alolan Muck, or into the Gyarados, and still do well in Alolan Muck coverage in the back end, or you're going to be countering a lot of common stuff. Maybe you'll see a Abomasnow, maybe you'll see a Lapras and Articuno. You can do really well against all those. So this team, whether you want to use it in the Premier Cup or the Open Ultra League, I think will do really, really well. Let's take a look at the weaknesses as well. Yeah, just a Nidoqueen. Everything else you can handle relatively easy. Swampert as well, you can do well with Machamp. Alolan Muck on energy. Dark Pulse does a lot of neutral damage, and Gyarados resists a lot of those charge moves unless it's running Sludge Wave. But if you're in Open Ultra League, they're going to be running Earthquake because of Giratina and Registeel. So yeah, this team I think can do great in both leagues. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about today's battles, and how are your guys' battles going? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.